Imagine walking into a restaurant, not just for a meal, but to step back in time. The oldest restaurant traditions aren't just about food. They're about stories, rituals, and a sense of belonging that has been passed down through generations. From secret family recipes to unique dining customs, these traditions have stood the test of time, and they're still alive and kicking today. So, are you ready to take a culinary journey through history? Let's dive in and explore the oldest restaurant traditions that are still going strong, and find out what makes them so special. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll be itching to try them out for yourself. Some restaurant traditions began thousands of years before the word restaurant existed, and many survive unchanged today. Long before the term restaurant entered the lexicon, dining establishments were already shaping cultural norms and culinary practices. Many of these traditions, born from necessity and social customs, have endured through centuries, adapting to modern times while retaining their core essence. One such tradition is the communal dining table, a practice that dates back to ancient times. In many cultures, sharing a meal at a long table fostered a sense of community and togetherness. Today, this tradition lives on in various forms, from family-style restaurants to modern communal dining spaces that encourage social interaction. Another enduring tradition is the art of the meal course. The concept of serving food in a specific order, from appetizers to main courses and desserts, has its roots in ancient Rome. The Romans believed in the importance of a structured meal, which included a series of dishes designed to stimulate the appetite and provide a balanced dining experience. This tradition is still very much alive in fine dining establishments, where chefs meticulously plan each course to create a harmonious culinary journey. Even in casual settings, the structure of a meal often follows this time-honored pattern, ensuring a satisfying and well-rounded dining experience. The practice of tipping is another tradition that has persisted for centuries. Originating in medieval Europe, tipping was a way for patrons to show appreciation for good service. This custom was brought to the Americas by European settlers and has since become a standard practice in many countries. Today, tipping remains a significant aspect of the dining experience, with customers expected to leave a gratuity for their servers. While the amount and method of tipping may vary, the underlying principle of rewarding good service has remained consistent over time. Additionally, the tradition of the chef's table offers a unique glimpse into the culinary world. This practice allows diners to sit close to the kitchen, often in a private area, and enjoy a meal prepared by the chef. The chef's table concept has its roots in the early 20th century, when restaurants began offering exclusive dining experiences for special guests. Today, many high-end restaurants feature a chef's table, providing patrons with an intimate and personalized dining experience. This tradition not only highlights the chef's skills but also creates a deeper connection between the diner and the culinary process. The world's first menu boards were carved into stone outside ancient taverns for passing travelers. In the ancient world, communication was often visual and straightforward. Taverns, which were essentially early versions of restaurants, needed a way to inform travelers about the food and drinks available. Carving menus into stone was a practical solution. These stone menus were durable and could withstand various weather conditions. They also served as a form of advertisement, catching the eye of passers-by. The practice of using stone menus was particularly common along trade routes. Travelers, often weary and hungry, could quickly glance at the carvings and know what to expect inside. This method was efficient and required no language skills, making it universally understandable. The simplicity of the carvings ensured that even those who couldn't read could make informed choices. These stone menus were not just functional but also served as a form of early marketing. Tavern owners could highlight their specialties, ensuring that travelers chose their establishment over competitors. The carvings often included images of popular dishes, making the menu visually appealing. This approach laid the groundwork for modern menu design, which continues to use visual elements to attract customers. Interestingly, some of these ancient taverns still exist today, preserving their historical menus. While the original stone carvings may have been replaced or restored, the tradition lives on. Modern establishments often incorporate elements of these ancient practices, blending history with contemporary dining experiences. The stone menus, though rare today, remain a fascinating glimpse into the past. Even the idea of daily specials comes from chefs in Rome who wrote fresh dishes on wooden tablets. The concept of daily specials might seem like a modern restaurant trend, but its roots trace back to ancient Rome. Chefs in Rome would write their fresh, daily offerings on wooden tablets, a practice that laid the groundwork for today's chalkboard specials. This method allowed chefs to showcase their creativity and adapt to the fresh ingredients available that day. It was a practical solution to the challenges of food preservation and seasonal availability. In those days, Roman taverns and inns were bustling hubs of social activity. Patrons would gather to enjoy meals and engage in lively conversations. The daily specials were a way for chefs to entice customers with something new and exciting. This tradition of offering fresh, daily dishes has evolved over centuries but remains a staple in many restaurants today. It's a testament to the enduring appeal of variety and novelty in dining. The wooden tablets used by Roman chefs were simple yet effective. They provided a visible and accessible way to communicate the day's offerings. This practice was not just about practicality, it was also about building a connection with customers. By showcasing their creativity and adaptability, chefs could foster a sense of trust and loyalty among their patrons. This tradition of transparency and freshness continues to be valued in modern dining establishments. Today, the concept of daily specials has taken on many forms. From handwritten chalkboards to digital menus, restaurants continue to highlight their fresh, daily offerings. This tradition not only adds variety to the dining experience but also encourages customers to return frequently to try new dishes. It's a practice that has stood the test of time, proving that the allure of fresh, daily specials is as strong as ever. Whether it's a small bistro or a high-end restaurant, the tradition of daily specials remains a cherished part of the dining experience. Greeting guests with water or wine at the door started as a sacred act of purification in Mesopotamia. In the ancient world, hospitality was more than just a polite gesture, it was a sacred ritual. In Mesopotamia, one of the earliest known civilizations, greeting guests with water or wine at the door was a profound act of purification. This practice wasn't just about quenching thirst or offering a warm welcome. It was a symbolic gesture, a way to cleanse the guest of the impurities they might have picked up along their journey. Water, in particular, was seen as a purifying element, a way to wash away the dust and dirt of the road, both physically and spiritually. This tradition wasn't unique to Mesopotamia. Many ancient cultures had similar practices. For instance, in ancient Rome, it was customary to offer guests a bowl of water to wash their hands before a meal. This wasn't just about hygiene, it was a sign of respect and hospitality. The water was often scented with herbs or flowers, making the act even more welcoming. Similarly, in ancient Greece, guests were offered wine as a sign of friendship and trust. The wine was often mixed with water, a practice known as watering down, which made it safer to drink and less intoxicating. Over time, these sacred acts of purification evolved into more casual traditions. Today, many restaurants around the world still greet their guests with a glass of water or wine. It's a gesture that has lost some of its spiritual significance, but it still carries a sense of warmth and hospitality. In some high-end restaurants, the act of offering a glass of water or wine at the door is a way to set the tone for the dining experience. It's a subtle reminder of the restaurant's attention to detail and commitment to making guests feel welcome. Interestingly, this tradition has also found its way into modern hospitality practices beyond restaurants. Hotels, resorts, and even some airlines offer guests a glass of water or wine upon arrival. It's a way to make guests feel valued and cared for. In some cultures, offering a glass of water or wine is still seen as a sacred act. For example, in some parts of India, it's customary to offer guests a glass of water with a small amount of milk, a gesture that is believed to bring good luck and prosperity. This shows how ancient traditions can evolve and adapt to different cultures and contexts. Table sharing between strangers was a normal part of community dining in ancient China and Greece. In ancient China, communal dining was deeply rooted in the culture, with large round tables designed to foster a sense of togetherness. These tables, often found in tea houses and restaurants, encouraged strangers to share a meal, fostering a sense of community and social bonding. The practice was so ingrained that it was not uncommon for travelers to sit down with locals, engaging in conversation and sharing food. This tradition continues today in many parts of China, particularly in bustling cities where space is at a premium. In modern tea houses and small eateries, it's not unusual to see strangers sharing tables, chatting, and even sharing dishes, a practice that has evolved into a norm rather than a necessity. Similarly, in ancient Greece, symposia were gatherings where people would come together to share food, drink, and intellectual discussions. These events were not just about dining but also about building social connections. The Greeks believed in the power of communal dining to strengthen bonds and foster a sense of unity. This tradition has evolved into the modern-day practice of sharing tables in tavernas and restaurants, especially in tourist-heavy areas. In places like Athens and Santorini, it's common to see tourists and locals sharing tables, engaging in lively conversations, and enjoying shared platters of meze. The practice of table sharing has also found its way into other cultures, influenced by the ancient traditions of China and Greece. In many European cities, especially in Italy and Spain, it's not uncommon to see strangers sharing tables in pizzerias and tapas bars. This practice is often driven by the popularity of these eateries and the limited seating available. However, it has also become a way for travelers to immerse themselves in the local culture and meet new people. In some cases, restaurants even encourage this practice by designing their spaces to accommodate shared tables, creating a more communal dining experience. In modern times, the concept of table sharing has taken on new forms. With the rise of co-working spaces and communal dining areas, the idea of sharing a table with strangers has become more acceptable. In cities around the world, people are increasingly open to the idea of sharing a meal with someone they don't know. This trend is not just about necessity but also about the desire for social connection. In a world where people are often isolated by technology, sharing a table with a stranger can be a refreshing way to connect with others and build a sense of community. Whether it's in a bustling tea house in China, a lively taverna in Greece, or a cozy pizzeria in Italy, the tradition of table sharing continues to thrive, bridging cultural divides and fostering a sense of togetherness. Tipping can be traced to medieval Europe as a ritual payment for safe lodging and protection. Tipping, as a practice, has roots that stretch back to medieval Europe. It began as a form of payment for safe lodging and protection. Travelers would offer extra money to innkeepers and other service providers to ensure their safety during their stay. This wasn't just about good service, it was about survival. Roads were often dangerous, and travelers were vulnerable. A small extra payment could mean the difference between a safe night's rest and a potentially harmful situation. This tradition evolved over time. As societies became more stable and roads safer, the need for such payment shifted. Instead of being a necessity for safety, tipping became a way to show appreciation for good service. The concept of tipping as a reward for exceptional service became more prevalent. This shift is still evident today. In many cultures, tipping is a way to acknowledge and reward good service. The practice of tipping spread to other parts of the world through European colonization. In places like the United States, tipping became a standard practice. It's now common to tip waitstaff, taxi drivers, and other service providers. The amount can vary, but the idea remains the same: a small extra payment as a token of appreciation. This tradition has become so ingrained in some cultures that not tipping can be seen as rude or disrespectful. However, the practice of tipping isn't universal. In some countries, service charges are included in the bill, making tipping unnecessary. In others, tipping is less common or expected. This can lead to confusion for travelers. It's always a good idea to research local tipping customs before visiting a new place. Understanding these customs can help avoid misunderstandings and ensure a positive experience for both the traveler and the service provider. Kitchen bells and clapping signals used today began in Persian caravanserais to manage crowds. The practice of using kitchen bells and clapping signals to manage crowds in restaurants traces its origins back to the bustling Persian caravanserais. These ancient roadside inns were vital stops for travelers, merchants, and their caravans along the extensive trade routes. With large groups of people converging in a single space, managing the chaos was a significant challenge. The solution? Simple, effective communication tools like bells and claps. In these early establishments, a single bell or a series of claps could convey a multitude of messages. A quick clap might signal the need for more food or drink, while a prolonged ring of the bell could indicate that a meal was ready to be served. This system was not only efficient but also adaptable, allowing staff to communicate across noisy, crowded spaces without the need for complex language or written orders. It was a practical solution born out of necessity, and it worked remarkably well. The tradition of using these signals has persisted and evolved over time. Today, you can find variations of this system in restaurants around the world. In many modern kitchens, a bell might ring to indicate that an order is up, or a clap might signal the need for attention from the staff. The principles remain the same: clear, concise communication that cuts through the noise and ensures smooth operation. It's a testament to the enduring effectiveness of these ancient methods. Interestingly, the use of these signals is not just about efficiency. It also adds a layer of tradition and authenticity to the dining experience. In some establishments, the sound of a bell or a clap has become a familiar and comforting part of the ambience. It's a subtle nod to the past, a reminder of the long history of hospitality and the enduring need for clear, effective communication in a busy, bustling environment. Whether in a high-end restaurant or a humble eatery, these signals continue to play a vital role in the smooth running of the establishment. And the classic chef's hat. It evolved from the high white hats worn by royal cooks for status. The classic chef's hat is a symbol of culinary expertise and professionalism. Its origins trace back to the tall, white hats worn by royal cooks. These hats were not just a fashion statement, they served practical purposes. The height of the hat often indicated the chef's rank, with the highest hats reserved for the most senior cooks. This tradition of wearing tall, white hats has persisted in various forms, evolving into the iconic chef's hat we recognize today. The white color of the hat has a practical significance. It symbolizes cleanliness and hygiene, which are paramount in a kitchen environment. Additionally, the hat's material, traditionally made of cotton, helps absorb sweat, keeping the chef cool under the heat of the kitchen. The pleats on the hat, often numbering around 100, are said to represent the number of ways a chef can prepare an egg. This detail adds a touch of whimsy to an otherwise utilitarian piece of attire. In modern times, the chef's hat has become a universal symbol of the culinary profession. It is worn by chefs worldwide, from high-end restaurants to casual eateries. The hat's design has seen some variations, with some chefs opting for shorter or more fitted versions. However, the traditional tall, white hat remains a powerful symbol of a chef's skill and dedication. It is a testament to the enduring traditions of the culinary world, where even the smallest details carry significant meaning. As we wrap up our delicious journey through time, let's recap the oldest restaurant traditions that are still going strong today. From the humble beginnings of the oyster cellars in London to the elegant art of French haute cuisine, we've seen how these traditions have shaped the way we dine out. The communal dining of the Roman thermopolia, the casual elegance of the Japanese ryokan, and the lively atmosphere of the Spanish tapas bars all show us that great food and good company never go out of style. These traditions remind us that dining is about more than just the food on our plates. It's about the stories we share, the connections we make, and the memories we create. Whether you're enjoying a meal at a historic restaurant or trying out a new recipe at home, you're part of a culinary tradition that spans centuries. So, the next time you sit down to eat, take a moment to appreciate the rich history behind your meal. And if you're feeling inspired, why not try recreating one of these traditions at home? Share your culinary adventures with us using #OldestRestaurantTraditions, and let's keep these time-honored practices alive. We hope you enjoyed this video as much as we enjoyed making it. If you're hungry for more culinary history, stay tuned for our next video, where we'll be exploring the fascinating world of ancient cooking techniques. Until then, bon appetit!